Hey, welcome to another episode of our Venture YA podcast. And in this podcast, we're getting to know some of our different young adults at Venture Church. My name is Morgan Butcher. I'm the young adult pastor here at Venture Church. And this is my co-host across the way, Rachel Beals, hanging out with us always again. And we've got a couple good friends here today hanging out with us to talk about, this should be really fun today because we're going back. And for you guys, that's not super long ago, but for me, I'm going to really try to stretch the memory because it's been a minute. But we're going to talk about, we're going to go throwback style. We're going to talk about what we were like in high school. We're going to like bring it back to high school and try to recreate some of our favorite memories, some of our favorite moments, kind of who we were and what we were like. And so God help us, this should be a lot of fun. But I got a couple good friends here with me today, and I had them we all brought like different props, like something that described us from high school, or that would kind of describe us from who we were in high school. So I'll have you guys introduce yourself and share what you brought, show us what you brought, and this should be great. Why don't you go first?
Oh, okay. I was gonna let Sophia go first, but it's all right. All right, I'm Nick Watson. I go to Venture Church. This is me in, here, can you see that?
Can we hold this up right here?
Hold that up.
Look at this.
Yeah, this is me in marching band.
Oh.
And the whole gang. Yeah, I looked like a 14-year-old in my senior year of high school, but,
Amen.
the glow up.
Not alone.
But yeah, marching band.
Rocking the trombone.
The trombone.
Let's go.
I was going to bring my trombone, but I couldn't find it.
You still have it?
Well, it's somewhere. And also, if I found it, I was kind of afraid you would have made me play it.
Oh, I totally would have.
I'm a little rusty.
That's what we 100%.
said.
So, yeah, band was a big part of my
That's awesome.
band geek, you know?
How long were you in band in middle school too?
Oh, yeah, from 5th grade.
Did you always play the trombone, or was there multiple instruments you played?
Trombone only. Trombone gang.
Trombone gang.
Whoa.
I'd be most afraid of the clarinet gang.
They're pretty docile, honestly. You know?
Docile. The clarinet gang was kind of docile.
You know, the ones you got to be afraid of are the trumpet players.
Trumpet players.
Yeah, they're the...
You just really never know.
What?
A guy who plays the trumpet is just kind of a wild card.
They are, yeah. You never know.
I've never heard these stereotypes in my life. I'm mind blown.
Back in my band days in 5th grade,
20 years
with Mr. Riley at Echo Lake Elementary in Shoreline, your boy started out on the trombone, believe it or not. But
Trombone
my
gang.
thing was I kept on pinching my finger because of the slide thing. And I had like this huge callus that always used to like cut open. So I was like, screw this, I'm done. So I played the drum. That's right, just one. The snare drum. Wasn't good enough for the drum set, but I played the drum.
One's better than none.
One's better than none, man. Played that hot cross buns like a champ.
You were clearly thriving in high school.
I was, man. I was. It was a peak. It was a peak. Sophia, why don't you introduce yourself? Actually, I already introduced yourself, but introduce yourself for you.
Thanks, Mo.
Yeah.
Sophia, yes. Shout out to Morgan for that one. I brought my trusty softball glove because I lived and breathed this sport. I lived and breathed this sport. Literally all the time. I played all sports in high school. I also golfed, which we still need to get out on the course once I'm allowed in like 5 weeks.
Rachel, you want to go golfing?
Yeah, Rachel.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No interest.
Come on, I'll teach you. We live together. Like, it will be good.
It's not going to be a thing
Nick,
that
you a
we
big
get
golfer?
Rachel to do.
No.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, Tiger Woods, he's the GOAT. What can I say?
Come on.
So good.
So
But
you were a big sports gal.
yes, very much so. Yeah, that's pretty much all I could talk about.
Yeah.
It was a real diverse conversation.
What position did you play in high school?
I was a pitcher and a DH.
DH.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty sweet.
That
Barry
is-
Bonds.
yeah, that's like the best position because you don't have to like run around in the field. You just like...
Oh, yeah, I was slow. People would make the joke that I would run around first base and that I was stopping to get a pizza and then would continue on. It was
Which, you know,
fantastic.
there's no shame in that. Like, I'd stop for pizza, too. Like, if there was pizza available at first base, you better believe I'd be hitting a lot
Grab
of
a
singles
quick
that year.
slice, then we'll keep going.
Just, you know, keep going.
I could probably stretch this into a double, but there's pizza here at
But there's
first.
pizza at first. Can't go wrong.
No way.
Yeah, so Those were my
awesome.
two positions.
Love it.
And then I also golfed for a year in high school as well.
Yeah, love it.
You're
Oh,
up,
you want me to
Morgan.
go, Rachel?
Yeah, your item's right there.
Okay.
I'm looking at it.
So I was a big sports guy too. Actually, in high school, to be really honest, in freshman and sophomore year, I was a very big Pokemon guy.
Oh, come on, man.
But I sold all my Pokemon cards a long time ago for like $20. I had like thousands of cards. And I sold them for $20.
Only $20.
Didn't pan out in the investment very well, but so I brought some of my. This is like some old school stuff right here. These are relics. This is my old collector's card. These are some of my all stars. These were some of my basketball cards here. I got John Stockton, Karl Malone, the mailman, Karl Malone. Oh, there's I apparently have the doubles of a lot of cards, and then I also brought my Seattle Supersonics 3-ring binder that I brought to school. It's got my man Gary Payton.
How's
Sean Kemp.
that thing still like usable?
This thing's prime. I took
Like,
care of this.
put together.
There is literally
nothing.
nothing that I took care of more than this binder in my childhood. I don't know why I just cared for it. Look, it's got some like little scuffs on the corners here, but it's still in good shape.
This thing is immaculate.
This is like collector's item now.
Did you actually do your schoolwork? Because it looks like you never opened it.
Well, that's probably part of the reason I kept it in such good condition that I didn't really put anything in it. But it does say, I had it for a long time because it says Morgan Butcher in what appears to be chicken scratch, room 7, which I'm pretty sure there's not a room 7 in high school. So I had this one for a while. This is like elementary school and beyond, I think. So little relic right there. Yeah. Rachel?
Thank you for sharing. Well, you see, pretty much everything from high school I destroyed because those were the dark ages. Just kidding. But I did destroy most things because I was absolutely mortified by some of the things I did. But I did happen to keep a photo or stumble upon one.
Do we have that photo?
Hopefully they're showing that photo.
She has lots of
And,
photos.
Please, Lord, put that photo up.
let's just say
great.
that I was that girl in high school that was obsessed with Justin Bieber. OG believer over here. Discovered him on YouTube. I went to his concert. I was trying to win concert tickets. That's why I made that shirt and that picture.
Wow.
Made that with Sharpie. So,
Nice.
And then I took photos by myself because I had very few friends until like my senior year of high school. So
That just
is
got
anyone
real sad.
surprised?
That just
I
got
wonder
real
why.
sad.
You'll even notice
took
there's
a real
a
sad
lovely,
turn there at the end, Rachel.
So I was lonely.
There's also a lonely little cloud on that shirt.
Did you win the tickets?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
all for naught.
Yeah. So there's that.
But did you go to the concert?
I did.
All right. Well, that's
I went to
fair.
his concert, and it was just an unhealthy obsession. Has it changed a whole lot? No, but at least I, hold it in a little bit more.
So what you're saying is you had an unhealthy obsession with Justin Bieber like Sophia had an unhealthy obsession with stopping at first base for pizza.
Yes,
Okay. Similar.
and how Nick had an unhealthy obsession with his trombone.
Yeah.
That's a little weird.
and you with that binder of
Yeah.
yours.
It's a good binder, though.
He's got some good cards in there. I saw a
Yeah. there's some
Scottie
good ones in
Pippen
there.
USA card.
Yeah.
Good
Okay,
one.
so I think everybody kind of mentioned this, but let's just put it out there. So you know how in high school there's like the groups. There's like
Right.
you got your like band kids. You got your
You can say it.
emo crew. I don't know.
say it.
You got your like ASB crew. You got the sports people. You
Right.
got the drama kids. What crew were you a part of if you had to choose one? I think I already know theirs a little bit, but
It's really sad.
second
It's really sad that you can really say like I was a part of a crew, and that's such a real thing that everyone literally
Oh,
knows
it's
what
a
you're
real
talking
thing.
about when you say it. Yeah.
I mean, you could be in more than one. So you could
All right.
say
Well,
more than
I'll
one.
start because I went through many phases. Like I had some serious identity issues, no doubt. So like I went through like I was a skater boy for a little while. I
Shout
wore
out
like
Avril
the
Lavigne.
biggest DC shoes you had ever seen in your
No,
life.
those are.
I had like
hideous.
these giant red. I mean, my shoes are huge, anyways. I wear size 14, but like then you put like all the extra padding in the shoe with the skate shoe, and it was literally like it looked like a bloody Kleenex box was on my foot, like because it was like bright
Please never
red.
describe
It
anything
was
like
like-
that ever again.
It was huge. It looked like I don't know. It was the weirdest thing ever. But then I stopped skateboarding because my feet were too big to fit on a skateboard. So that didn't work out very well. So then apparently I got really big into Pokemon. I don't know how I went from that to Pokemon, but went there. And then I started getting big into sports, and I was like kind of in the sports scene for a little while. Yeah.
What sports did you play in high school?
Well, so I never played for any high school sports because I got super discouraged. I tried out for a 7th grade basketball team. That was my first time ever trying out for a school sports team. And I threw up on the tryouts, and so I never tried out for another sport again. But I played a lot of rec sports and dominated.
He still
end up-
dominates every time he plays basketball, too.
Yeah.
Did you end up playing basketball as a rec sport, though?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't give it up forever.
No,
good.
didn't give it up. And that's why I think, honestly, that's why I became a youth pastor, was so that I could feel like I was still good at sports. That I could like dominate youth kids.
That's a great reason.
Yeah.
Great reason.
And for Jesus.
Yeah.
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 There's that.
Yeah, totally. Nick, what about you?
Well, you know.
It was this
You
picture.
know,
said-
what can I say? I was a total band geek. This is Zero Period Jazz Band. I got the
come on
Fifth
now.
Period
Oh.
Wind Ensemble. Had the
Zero
After School Marching Band.
Wow.
Go on the band trips.
Come on.
All the homies.
Where
were in
was the
band.
coolest place you went on a band trip to?
Cool. We're talking like weather-wise. It was probably Indiana
Okay.
So random.
in February.
Slightly humid.
Gary, Indiana?
I couldn't tell you where it is.
That's the only place in Indiana. Well,
I actually think it was the Hoosiers University.
oh, yeah.
Indiana. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where that is, but I know that, yeah.
somewhere in the
Yeah.
Midwest.
Somewhere
it was
out
freezing
there.
cold.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
I tried to get my band director. Shout out Mr. Dean, by the way.
Come on, Mr.
You're the
Dean.
man. Also trombone gang. I tried to get him to stop at White Castle every time we drove by one, and he just was not having it.
He wasn't
So
having it.
I blame you to this day. I still haven't had White Castle. If you're watching, like
Poor Mr. Poor
I love
Mr.
you,
Dean,
Mr.
man.
Dean, but you'll
No
never live that
one's
one down, my guy.
Sophia, what about you?
I mean, like in high
wonder.
school, obviously, yeah. I mean, I played sports, like, duh. I wouldn't say I was friends with like a lot of the athletes though at my school. Like all my friends in high school didn't really play sports. A few of them did, but not like super competitively. But outside high school, because I played so many competitive, like not rec league sports, other than high school, I hung out with all of them, and they obviously were all athletes. So I mean, yeah athletes, but like I was also friends with everybody. So I don't really know a group. It's kind of like in between, wishy-washy.
But
You're right there.
You
you
dabbled
only
in a few.
talked about sports. So
Yeah,
the non-sports people were probably like,
that in school. I also loved just being in school.
Wow.
what a weird
What a
concept.
good child. Man. Jeez. I hope Brindley's like you one day.
Aw.
Well, you see, due to my weird things that I was a part of, like Justin Bieber fandom, I didn't have a ton of friends at high school. Lots of friends in Uprising, our youth ministry. So shout out to Uprising. There it is.
There it is.
That was
But,
that was embarrassing. Can you? Okay, never mind.
Edit that out.
Yeah, I did that. Out.
Just kidding. Keep it in forever. But when I got to my senior year of high school, like I started making friends and I didn't look 12 anymore because that was a big issue. Actually, more like 8. I actually looked like I got lost from the elementary school for most of high school. Like people would ask me in high school, "Oh, did you get lost from the elementary school?"
That's
to my
messed up.
face, they said that.
That's messed up.
How rude. But actually, I looked like an elementary schooler, so it makes sense. Anyways, once I started looking a tad bit older, like middle school aged, I was friends with all those ASB kids. That was like the crew I was a part of. So the ones that do all of the activities and all the things. It was very fun.
Love it. Love it. All right, I got to ask, there's always like one item of clothing that you most remember from like your high school career. What was like the one thing that you wore in high school that like you will just always, like that was like a staple for you? The thing that you wore.
Nike Air Max 90s.
Oh, yeah. You used to rock those when you were in the youth
I
ministry.
rocked them,
yeah.
man. I loved them.
Yeah, you wore those all the
Still
time.
got them, you know.
Those are sweet shoes, too. Those are very sweet shoes.
I used to wear, I just thought of this. I was like, what in the world did I wear consistently? It was a type of jean. It's called Miss Me jeans. The butt pockets were bedazzled.
Oh,
Why I ever thought it was a good idea to wear those, could not tell you
To
why.
those days.
So bad.
I can specifically wear one major staple in my wardrobe was, if you remember Aeropostale or Hollister.
Yes.
They always had the shirts.
The Holy
with,
Trinity.
Like, arrow across
Yeah.
the front. Or Hollister
Yep.
in like giant writing, and it's just so hideous. But that was what I wore pretty much every day, which is super cringy.
I wore those too.
Yeah.
They're just so bad. I'm like, why? And also, why would you ever? I don't know about you. I had them in like neon colors. Why?
the
Why would
colors.
anyone ever buy that in a neon green?
Do you remember the like shirts that had the monkey on them?
Yes.
What were those?
Paul Frank.
Paul Frank
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
throwback.
Boy, that's a weird time.
Those
in
are
the
something
world.
else, man. If you were wearing those in high
It was
school,
like a sock monkey, too, wasn't it?
yeah, it was something.
Yes, it was
It
a
wasn't
sock
even like
monkey.
a real monkey. It was
I
just like a
literally
weird
got.
sock
I love sock monkeys too in high school.
monkey. Do you still have sock monkeys?
Weird.
Yeah, hold on.
Hold
Why did you
on.
bring?
Totally weird
Why'd you bring
one.
the glove when you have a sock monkey?
You could have brought a sock monkey.
Excuse me.
I
would've
don't
been
think
way
I
better than the
actually
glove.
own anymore. Like I had like a giant.
All right. Let's carry on from the sock monkeys.
I think we should.
I'm kind of creeped out. Morgan, what was your item?
So bad.
Anything else?
Okay, so like we didn't have like cool clothes growing up. I mean, my mom and we didn't have like we didn't get to go like shopping for like the sweet Hollister or what was the other Abercrombie. You know, like we didn't get that stuff. But I remember vividly. I don't know if they still do this in the school, but what would happen is like in between periods, everyone would go and like stand in circles, and dudes would like no one would talk for like however long the break was. Everyone would just stare down at each other's shoes. And they would just stand in a circle and just stare down at the floor, and no one would talk to each other. I assume it was just like my weird people that I hung out with. But so like I was always very self-conscious of my shoes because like that's the only thing people looked at. Like they just stared at each other's shoes, and everyone had at the time the sweet like old school Adidas, you know, the 3-stripe with like the rubber
yeah.
toe. Never had those. But came close. Payless shoes had the 4-stripers. So what I used to do was I wore the baggy jeans, hung them down to hide that 4th stripe. You know what I mean? Just kind of hung it down, tucked it under the heel of the shoe, hide that 4th stripe. Pretty much Adidas.
You should have taken like a seam ripper and just like.
That would have been smart
Or
too.
you could have gotten like white out and whited out the last stripe.
Yeah,
paint
that would have been
over
smart too. Yeah, it turns out in the Northwest, my pants, the bottom of my pant legs were always wet because I stuck them under my
How
shoes.
did you
It does rain here.
find jeans that were long enough for your legs?
You know, it's a mystery.
What, you like a 36 inseam? What are you?
Well, you know, back in the day, they had these things called Jinko jeans, which were pretty much like, imagine like, I don't know, like you put a hula hoop around the top of your leg and then drape fabric down from it. That's pretty much what it was.
You rock
And you
Jabot
wore
jeans?
those for pants. And they also had huge
What a
pockets.
picture.
Like I probably could have fit this whole binder in the pocket of Jinko jeans. I'm not even kidding. They were the biggest pockets you'd ever seen in your life.
And then we
Those
went
were-
drastically to skinny jeans.
Yeah,
And,
we
like, there's
hopped,
just no
skipped, and jumped
in-between.
really quick. Cell phones got smaller, and so did the jean pockets. So it kind of just went with it. I think.
Evolution. Okay, what about music that you listen to? I think I'm just not even going to answer because I'm pretty sure we all can assume what I'm about to say. Any
Justin
guesses?
Bieber?
Yeah. So Justin Bieber would be my answer.
Frank
but,
Sinatra.
Shocking. So you guys can now share so I don't
Some
seem
high
weird.
school action.
I'm gonna tag team on Rachel's there. I love Justin Bieber actually in high school too.
Go.
Not to her obsession, but I liked him. He was great. And then I also listened to rap music.
What kind of rap music did you listen to? Like who was your go-to?
A lot of Kanye West.
Okay.
And it would
okay.
be like my pump it up playlist before I would go out and pitch.
Okay.
Or before games, I would just throw my headphones in, would
Wow.
not talk to anybody,
Yeah.
and just like zone in.
Yeah.
Just G.
In the mode.
In the
In
mode.
the mode, yeah.
But yeah, no, I still love rap music to
Love
this
it.
day.
So I can relate with that because before I got saved end of my junior year. that's like all I listened to was rap music. And so like I was like, Kanye wasn't really around, back in the day, 2003, it wasn't back.
That was forever
It
ago.
wasn't back
time
that
ago.
long ago. But so I was listening to the 50 Cent.
Oh.
I was listening to some Eminem.
Oh,
Let's go, Eminem.
yes.
And I also crossed over to the rock. I loved my Linkin Park. Hybrid Theory. Dude, come on. Let's
Slaps.
go.
The album still
That is still a really... And then the best marriage of music, in my opinion, happened in the history of the world. It was Jay-Z and Linkin Park together. Fire. So good.
Wow.
Nothing is more 2000s.
And then when I got saved, I listened to Los Lonely Boys. Los Lonely Boys and DC Talk. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I listened to a lot of Dave Matthews, too.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of Dave Matthews.
Yeah, it's marching.
Ants Go Marching.
You ever see Dave Matthews live?
Oh, many times.
Oh.
At the Gorge. One of my favorite. I mean,
The whole weekend he does?
no, we just did one night because me and Nicole went over there a couple times and just did the one night show and then came back. Amazing.
That'd be cool to go to one day.
Oof, so good.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
You're
Bieber's
not
probably
over
good
here.
too, though.
I listen to also rap music.
Yeah.
A little more, little deeper than Kanye, honestly. Listen to, like Waka Flocka. Trap. I don't know. My friends were really into trap music.
Trap with two P's, right?
No, you're thinking of Trapped, like Headstrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm thinking of.
I did not. Let me just on the record. Did not listen
What?
to Trapped.
Oh, you never.
What is
okay.
that?
Go
I'm
look it
so
up.
confused.
Amazing. Okay.
They're never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
Okay.
Yeah, just good, wholesome music.
Wholesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Family friendly.
Family
So
friendly.
it's suddenly making sense to me why I probably haven't heard of this because,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would have never listened
as
to
I
this.
mentioned, my only friends were a part of Uprising.
Yeah. No, you never listened to that stuff.
Yikes.
Okay, so what do you remember from like what did you do for fun? Like, when you weren't at school, like what did you do for fun as a high school student when you weren't at band practice?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, come on.
That's it. And Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
Oh, Guitar Hero.
I shred the
Dude,
Guitar
I
Hero.
miss
man.
Guitar Hero.
Through the Fire and Flames. Dude, I was on that game all day, every day. If I wasn't playing COD.
That was my best chance at making it onto an actual band. Was right there in Rock Band.
Did you thrive?
I did though. Me and my neighbor friends, Willie the Legend, and my other friend Booty Doo on our cul-de-sac. We played Rock Band like nobody's business.
Did you say Booty Doo?
Yeah.
That's
We
quite
don't
a
have to.
name.
We'll get
Okay, well, yeah. Later.
That's his
Never
nickname.
gets old.
That's off the record.
Yeah, off the record.
I'm trying to think. So like in my free time, I played sports.
Yeah.
Obviously. I think I've beaten that with a dead horse.
Did you play with your sock monkeys though?
I wish I would have never said that.
Never letting you forget it.
So bad. I love just being outside. Like I was that kid that spent every living second outside, and if my friends were like, "Let's play a video game," I would last for like maybe 10 minutes and just say, "I quit," and walk out.
Going out.
And go do my own thing.
Yeah.
But I hung out with my friends a lot on the weekends when I wasn't playing ball, and we would do sleepovers, and we probably did some pretty weird stuff.
With your sock monkeys, you had sleepovers? I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never gonna let it go.
Thank goodness I'm cool now.
Yeah, you did good. You did good. Rachel, what about you?
I played soccer actually, so I wasn't that only weird. And I also loved with my friends we were big into adventures. Like we just wanted to we would make bucket lists and then like try to hit all of them, and it would be really random things. But one of the things that we love to do, it's like somewhat adventurous, but has to do with that, is we would love to go on drives. Like all the time after school, we would drive. And there's this drive where you go past Bob's Corn, and there's like nothing for a really long time, and it's beautiful. So we would do that often. And
Nice.
pretty much almost every single day, shout out to Trinity if she's watching this,
on,
we would go to Safeway after school, and we would get spicy chicken tenders from the Safeway deli almost every day. So let's go.
Best chicken tenders
Azell's
in the world.
Safeway chicken.
Toss
Azell's.
us,
Comparable.
toss
Yeah,
us.
I'm on Azell's on that one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so good. Halo 1. When Halo 1 came out and I was in high school and that's all we did. We played System Link. We'd have like 8 friends over and we just sit in the same house and literally just yell at each other from across the house. Some of the best times of my life. Just, late nights just playing Halo with a bunch of dudes.
Just
man.
peaked.
Oh man, it was so fun. It was so fun. I've never been good at video games since then. I peaked with Halo. and
It's
then
all
it was
downhill
It was
from
all
there.
it was all downhill.
Is
Yeah.
system linking like you literally link up
Yeah,
your
like
systems
back in the
with
day
each
when you
other,
didn't have
I
like
guess?
Wi-Fi or like there's none of this like digital like you be in different houses. It was like you had a cable connecting 2 Xboxes together. I know it sounds
You're really
like
dating
medieval.
yourself, Morgan.
But yeah,
kinda old.
I know it's weird.
Just want that to sink in.
Yeah, here maybe I should do this for the rest of the show. That'll
Bald. Bald.
Wait, here's a question for you, Morgan.
Yeah,
In high school, did you have hair?
I did. So I
Or
started.
were you starting to bald?
When I was 16, I started waking up with hair on my pillow. Not like
That's
chunks, but like
horrifying.
if it was chunks, I would have been really scared. But like strands of hair on my pillow, and that's when I knew like, oh God, like oh boy. So like I was visibly I had like the widow's peak going my senior year of high school. And so that's when I knew, man, I got to get married fast. So I got married.
Speed this up.
I got married like right as I turned 21 to Nicole. Praise God. He's a miracle worker, man. Waymaker. Miracle worker. Yeah, he's good.
Just locked her up.
All right, this is a fun question. What is like one rebellious moment you remember? Was there like, did you ever have like, like it doesn't have to be, we don't need you to have like deep confessions here, but like,
So this is where you confess your deepest, darkest.
yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
Like, did you ever have like a rebellious moment in high school or something where you look back and you just remember like your mom doing this? Like that's to me a rebellious moment. When your mom does this. That's a rebellious moment.
I don't think Diana Beals has ever done that, but okay.
I can't picture Ty doing that.
No.
I'll start. I remember. So I stayed out of a lot of trouble in high school. Like with sports and all that kind of stuff. I just grew up like honestly super innocent, and even before I got saved. And when I was in sophomore year of high school, I had never gone to a party ever. Like never gone and partied, never drank, never did any of that stuff. And I remember there was a party being thrown a couple blocks away from my house. And so I was like, I'm just going to walk over and, check it out, see what it's all about. I was curious, sophomore in high school. Didn't even know what was going on. So I walk up to the house. Little did I know it was literally right across the street from my aunt's house. So that was weird. So I'm literally walking up to the front door, and there is wild, ravenous children everywhere. Like it was like
Children?
Children like my age, but
Oh,
like
okay.
literally did not belong at a party. Okay, like literally like just a bunch of crazy kids just running in the streets. So I'm like walking up to the house, like, oh, this is different, and then literally as I walked through the threshold of the front door, cops pull up, and all I remember is sprinting faster than I have ever ran in my entire life.
No stopping for
And
pizza?
I never went to another party again after that. I had like 1 second inside of a house party and I was gone forever. I was just like, I'm never doing that again. I remember literally like jumping into a bush to hide. And
They were definitely chasing
oh yeah, because they were
just
totally
you.
coming after me, right? And I remember like on my way home, I'm like walking and it's like pitch black. I'm like hopping between bushes and there's a helicopter. I'm pretty sure it was like a medical helicopter flying overhead. I thought they were chasing after me, man. I thought for sure, I was like, oh my God, heat sensors. Like,
Heat
so,
sensors?
anyways, it was the
I don't
craziest
know how
moment of my
anybody
life.
can top that.
Oh, it was so crazy,
Where
man.
do we go from here?
I'll never forget that. Don't party, kids. It's not worth it, man.
Stay in school.
Yeah, stay in school.
Except not right now. Don't stay in school either.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Any rebellious moments you remember?
I was pretty good kid in high school. I didn't really have any rebellious moments. I like that level of rebellion. I think Morgan hit up here. I'm like way down here on the floor, basically. Well, I guess the most rebellious thing, it was more like I straight up lied to my parents, which kids don't do that. I was dating a guy who lived up in Lake Stevens at the time, and for those of you who aren't around here, I grew up in Sammamish, which is
That's not even close. It's not close at all.
a solid hour drive.
It's not close.
So like I would stretch the curfew limit for sure. And I one day stretched it. My brain was like, you can make it home in 20 minutes.
No.
It's an hour drive.
Yeah,
Classic tale.
Yeah, not close.
Does not work. Where my brain was, couldn't tell you. So I was driving actually along Highway 9, and it was pitch black. It was like midnight. And of course, I got pulled over by a cop because I was speeding really badly.
Oh boy.
And got asked if I was partying. I was a senior in high school, and I hadn't drank alcohol whatsoever, never gone to a party. And I was just like pretty much in tears. Probably just about pooped my pants.
Did he
too.
let you go?
He did let me go without a ticket, but I went home and had to explain to my parents why I was late. And I just totally decided to leave out the whole fact I got stopped by a cop. And just recently told them this past year that happened like 7 years ago. And they're like, you
Oh, that's
little.
awesome. Somewhere your mom was going like this.
Yeah, exactly. Both my parents.
It was that. Nick, anything?
I'm trying real hard to think of something. I mean,
He's a good band
honestly,
kid,
like
man.
I have a lot of stupid friends. Shout out to all you guys. I love all of you. All my friends did the stupid stuff, and I don't know.
Guilty by association.
Yeah,
maybe?
well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can tell you a stupid thing, like a hilarious.
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, like, Morgan, I really wanted to skateboard when I was younger. I was really into wanting to skateboard.
Oh, weren't we all?
Not like into actually doing
So
it.
was I.
So I was on my friend's longboard one day, and I'm literally on this thing for 30 seconds, and I'm rolling down his driveway, and I go down the curb. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take this and just land it. I was like, this is gonna be so sick, feeling like Tony Hawk.
Like you went off the curb.
Yeah, like the curb. I'm talking like 6 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
And the board just shoots out from under me, and I just land straight on the side of my foot, and I ended up fracturing a bone in my foot, and I had to wear this like hilarious looking shoe. It was like a boot, but like just the foot part.
Oh yeah.
And it was, I don't know, it was just annoying.
Super
For like a
stylish.
month, I had to
Yeah.
wear it. Yeah, that sucked.
And you got home and you were injured, and your mom did what?
Well, I was actually, my dad was like,
moms do.
"You're fine," typical.
Oh my.
So not really
That's a
rebellious.
No,
just,
that's a good story though.
Just stupid.
That's a good story.
I, like Sophie, was the most innocent child ever. I didn't even know that parties happened in high school. Like, I had no idea that was going on.
I barely did. All I knew was that one moment.
I'm still surprised to this day that happened, and shocking I wasn't invited to it. I'm
like, how did you not know?
How I didn't have very many friends.
Okay.
We've been through this. So I feel like rebellion to me was more like a stupid thing that I did. We found this radio tower in the middle of the woods. I told this story because it was actually like the sketchiest thing I've ever done. It was a radio tower in the middle of the woods. It's like not in use anymore. So we had to like trespass through somebody's property to get there.
Yeah.
And it's just a ladder straight up in the middle of the woods, and it was nighttime. It was a straight up metal ladder that went all the way above the tree line, and there's nothing holding you in. You're just holding a metal ladder and just praying that you don't slip and kill everyone behind you that's underneath you.
Or yourself.
And yeah, we climbed that and we went to the top, and from downtown Snohomish you can see the Seattle skyline, which is how like high up it is. And when I told my mom that, she was like, she kind of did do that, but she also was like, this is the most diabial statement you'll ever hear in your life. At least tell me before you do something like that so I can pray for you. I'm like, okay.
Saint Di. That's so great.
There it is.
I love it.
What a sweetheart.
I love it. The part of my story that I left out was that somebody was peeing in my aunt's bush. I remember that vividly. I literally just remember that.
Thank you
And
for
she was
including that.
outside yelling at them. Oh, man. I don't think I've ever told her that story. I hope she doesn't watch this. Anyways. Oh, man, good times. Well, and look at us now today. We're all grown adults.
With our lives somewhat together.
No, but hey, this is a lot of fun, and you know what I love is that everyone's got their own experience from high school and college and all these different things. But it's fun to have these opportunities where we just go back a little bit and remember some of those things, because ultimately those things do shape who we are. They do shape who we become, and I'm thankful for like the story and the journey that kind of God brought us all on.
Believer forever.
Yeah, believers. And I'm so thankful that Rachel now has friends. That's what I'm really thankful for more than
God
anything.
bless.
She's got a lot of friends. But hey, we want to thank you for watching another episode of our Venture YA podcast. We're going to be here each and every week, hanging out, talking about different things, having fun like this, but also talking about serious things as well. We love you guys. We're praying for you, and we hope you're doing well. Love you. Later.